Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story that blends engineering brilliance, geopolitical strategy, endurance, and aviation legacy. It's about a fighter jet that refuses to fade into history even after more than 4 decades, the Israeli Kfir. While many aircraft from its era have been retired, displayed in museums, or scrapped for parts, the Kfir continues to fly, train modern pilots, and serve nations that still rely on its speed, versatility, and rugged reliability. So how did a jet born in the 1970s earn such an unexpectedly long life? That's exactly what we're exploring today. The Kfir's journey begins with a fascinating mix of necessity and creativity. Israel needed a modern, reliable strike fighter at a time when international restrictions limited its access to advanced aircraft. Instead of waiting for foreign suppliers, Israeli engineers took matters into their own hands. They upgraded an already proven airframe concept and infused it with local avionics, structural redesigns, and an American engine that changed the aircraft's entire character. This wasn't just a copy, it was a reinvention built to survive tough missions, harsh climates, tight budgets, and rapidly evolving battlefield needs. That foundation is part of why the jet has lasted so long. The design itself offers a clue to its durability. The Kfir has a sturdy delta wing configuration paired with canards, giving it tremendous stability and lift. Delta wings are known for their structural strength and simplicity, fewer moving parts, fewer weak points, fewer maintenance headaches. Combine that with a powerful and widely supported engine, and suddenly you have a fighter that isn't fragile or temperamental, but one that keeps flying even when other jets require more complex logistics to stay operational. Simpler designs sometimes win by staying practical, and the Kfir is a great example of that. When looking at why it stayed relevant, you also have to consider upgrades. Israel didn't let the Kfir stagnate. Over the years, they updated its avionics, cockpit displays, radar systems, mission computers, and weapons compatibility. The Kfir C.10 and Block 60 variants look almost nothing like the earliest versions. They carry modern targeting pods, advanced air-to-air missiles, precision-guided bombs, and digital systems that dramatically improve situational awareness. These upgrades allow the jet to remain tactically useful in a world dominated by fourth-generation fighters. Another major reason for its longevity is cost-effectiveness. Many countries around the world want reliable fighter jets but can't afford to operate or maintain extremely expensive models like the F-16, Rafale, or Eurofighter. The Kfir fills a unique niche. It offers solid performance, high speed, good strike capability, and modern avionics at a fraction of the price. Operating costs are low enough that nations can keep a functional air force without drowning in expenses. Because budgets matter as much as performance, the Kfir's economics became a lifeline for smaller air forces. Israel also benefited from establishing a strong maintenance and upgrade ecosystem for the jet. Having local manufacturers and engineers kept the platform alive. They understood every bolt, wire, and panel, making it easier to modernize and export. Many countries purchased updated second-hand Kfirs that had been refurbished to high standards. This availability of an affordable modernized fighter kept demand alive even decades after its first flight. Few aircraft enjoy this kind of structured support over such a long period. A huge part of the Kfir's extended life also comes from its role in training. The United States Navy and Marine Corps used leased Kfir variants, designated F-21A, in the 1980s as aggressor aircraft. These jets simulated enemy fighters during air combat training, and they were so capable in that role that pilots gained valuable experience fighting an opponent with high speed and delta-wing maneuverability. The aircraft's excellent performance in this training environment helped build its reputation for reliability and toughness. Even today, countries still use the Kfir for advanced pilot training and air combat simulation. It's fast enough to challenge modern jets and simple enough to maintain regularly in training operations. That balance makes it incredibly useful for air forces preparing pilots for real-world missions. When a jet becomes a dependable training asset, it gains a new purpose long after its frontline combat days are over. You also can't ignore the political and strategic aspect. Israel's defense industry has long focused on creating systems that are modular, upgradable, and flexible for export. The Kfir fits that philosophy perfectly. Because it doesn't depend heavily on extremely restricted components, Israel can offer customized upgrades to countries with different needs. Some want the jet for air policing. Others want a ground attack platform. Some want an aggressor aircraft. That adaptability keeps the Kfir valuable in multiple roles. Not many older fighters can claim the same. Another interesting angle is how well the jet performs in hot, high-altitude environments. Many countries that purchased the Kfir operate in climates where heat can reduce engine performance or stress aircraft systems. The Kfir's combination of engine thrust, aerodynamic design, and structural strength works well in these demanding regions. Reliability under tough environmental conditions makes it even more attractive for long-term use, especially for nations with challenging geographic and weather patterns. The Kfir also benefited from having a proven combat record. Even though its operational history isn't as large as some fighters, it demonstrated effective strike capability, fast response times, and strong survivability. Combat history adds credibility, especially for buyers seeking a fighter that has already been tested in real operations. A jet with a reputation for effectiveness tends to stay in service longer than one that lacks battlefield experience. One of the most important reasons the Kfir is still flying is the continuous modernization path offered by Israel Aerospace Industries. Rather than letting the aircraft become outdated, they provided upgrade packages covering electronic warfare systems, digital glass cockpits, new radar technologies, helmet-mounted displays, and compatibility with modern missiles. These upgrades turned the aircraft into a pseudo-fourth-generation platform even though the airframe itself is much older. Modernization extended not only capability but also lifespan, allowing air forces to keep using the aircraft well into the 21st century. Its versatility also plays a major role. The Kfir is capable of air defense, ground attack, maritime strike, reconnaissance, and training. Multi-role capability ensures that smaller nations don't have to operate multiple specialized aircraft. They can rely on one platform for several mission types, reducing costs and simplifying logistics. A single aircraft that can perform well in multiple roles becomes extremely valuable, especially for countries with limited defense budgets. Another overlooked factor is how the Kfir fits into global fighter jet cycles. When newer jets are released, older jets don't just disappear, they often move to secondary markets. The Kfir has remained popular in these secondary markets because it's modern enough to stay relevant and cheap enough to be practical. As long as there's a need for cost-effective, modernized fighters, the Kfir remains in demand. Longevity isn't only about hardware but also operational philosophy. Many air forces using the Kfir focus on preserving air power through careful maintenance schedules and structured pilot programs. They use the jet efficiently and avoid excessive wear, giving the aircraft a longer lifespan than fighters that undergo intense high-stress missions. A well-maintained fighter with reasonable usage can last decades, and that's exactly what happened with the Kfir. The psychological factor matters too. The Kfir carries historical significance for Israel, symbolizing self-reliance in a time when access to foreign aircraft was restricted. That legacy gives the jet a certain pride factor, and aircraft with symbolic importance tend to be preserved, upgraded, and showcased longer than those without it. It stands as a reminder of an era when innovation was driven by necessity, and that story continues to shape its legacy today. The Kfir's continuing flight also reflects how global defense needs evolve. Not every country needs stealth. Not every country can afford massive fleets of cutting-edge jets. Some need reliability, training capability, and a cost-effective fighter that simply gets the job done. The Kfir fits that sweet spot perfectly. And because the aircraft can still be upgraded with modern radars and weapons, it remains relevant even in a world dominated by more advanced aircraft. Today, even though many 4th and 5th generation fighters dominate the headlines, the Kfir still holds its place. It's proof that good engineering, smart upgrades, and strategic thinking can extend the life of a fighter far beyond what anyone expected. It shows that an aircraft doesn't need to be the newest or most expensive to remain valuable. It just needs to be reliable, adaptable, and supported by a strong modernization ecosystem. And that is why, after more than 40 years, the Kfir is still flying. It's a jet built from necessity, refined through innovation, and sustained by versatility. It has trained pilots, served air forces across multiple continents, and proven itself in combat. It adapted when technology evolved and continued to deliver when many expected it to retire. Its story isn't about being the best fighter in the world, it's about being the right fighter for many missions, budgets, and nations. The Kfir's longevity is a reminder that aviation history isn't just written by the newest jets in the sky. Sometimes, the most impressive stories come from aircraft that endure, aircraft that keep flying, keep training, and keep proving their worth year after year. As long as nations need an affordable, modernized, and reliable fighter, the Kfir's legacy will continue. Even after 4 decades, it remains a symbol of ingenuity, adaptability, and resilience in the world of military aviation. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Kfir fighter's enduring legacy, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more aviation stories, defense analysis, and military history breakdowns. Stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.